Şişim kaçıyor. Bence gene karbon şok ya. Gene sonra diyor. Daha bir şey var. Daha sonra diyor. Okay, are we set? Is it recording? Okay, so if you can see my screen, this is our home page. It's not new to us. So this very green one, this very blue one, when you go over to, you can see that we are 30 minutes or 34 minutes behind time that we're supposed to start for the Wikimedia editing. And today we are going to do two projects. We're working on the Wiktionary and then we're working on Wikipedia. Wikimedia Commons. So you are going to create the entries of the Tyap Wiktionary today. This is like our dictionary, online dictionary. So once you click on dictionary, I don't know how many of us are working with our phones or with our computers, and it seems nobody is looking at the board. So at the end of the day, let it be that we are all working together. So I will say, for those that are alright, so when you are able to find your way to Wikimedia editing, just come over to, just scroll over to Wikipedia editing and then you have Wikipedia or Wiktionary, just click on Wiktionary. So once you click on that very one, it takes you directly to the Wiktionary page for this very event. Once you are on this very page, you see some certain rules that you should note while you are working on this very project. Any of these ones that you are seeing in red that turns blue, it means that they have been created. But the ones that are in red, it means that they have not been created. And for the fact that it is in blue doesn't mean that it is complete. There are some words, they are the same spelling, yes, but they have a lot of, like the word chat. Chat can mean to want, it can mean to need, it can mean to desire, it can mean to, it can even mean feather, is it the plural form of feather? Then it can also mean chat now. So many meanings. And for the fact that they are having different meanings doesn't mean that you should create different entries for them. So long as it's the same spelling, all of the meanings must be captured on one page. So we are going to create an example, or before then, there are some templates that we can use with dictionary entries dictionary which we call the Tyap Wiki. So those templates are found right here at the very last page, at the very last line. By the time you click on this very click here or click me, you see. Are we understanding? Okay, so once you click on that, please click me. You are going to see this very page called Tyap Wiki, chat Tyap Wiki. So everything on this very dictionary is not in English. So if you are working with an entry, you want to create an article for input, for example, you have to know whether input is a noun or it's a verb or it's an adjective. So if you are not good with knowing what part of speech a particular word is, you will see the English word, and then on that same table you are going to see N for noun, V for verb, ADJ for adjective, and so on and so forth. But most of the words we are going to work on, they are nouns, so you don't have to crack your head too much about it. But per adventure, you are going to work on another part of speech. Once you click on this very page that says, please click me. Let me start again. Once you are on this very page, this very blue colored box, you scroll down to Wikimedia editing, and then finally Tyap Wiktionary. That's the Tyap Wiki. So once kanang anyap Tyap Wiki or Tyap Wiktionary, it leads you to the Tyap Wiktionary itself. So once you are on this page, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. On the 5th point, it talks about templates. Again, I said if you are working on creating any entry, you have to know what part of speech it is before you start working on it. So right on this very table, it is set for us to know what part of speech they are. And for this very event, we are going to use nouns mainly, but we may have verbs too, but we only have today. So all these words, we are creating them, they are all nouns. And you can see this functionality, it has 2 senses. So if a word has more than 1 meaning, they are referred to as senses. So sense 1 and then sense 2. And there may be other senses as well, like this very oh, I don't know whether another word here, maybe Odongofa or Odongofa, it may have another meaning. Let's say pot belly is what is here, but Odongofa literally can also mean maybe pot, okay, still pot belly. It can also mean the belly of the pot. Probably there is a pot meant for the belly. I don't know if it makes sense, but that's another possibility, but I'm not sure we have any sense like that in here. So if it has only 1 sense and there's no second sense, just write it based on just that 1 sense. But if it has 2 senses for that, you will see how we create 2 senses. Now for the templates, to make it very easy for you, very easy, you can go to this point 5, you see templates, please click me. Once you click on please click me, it's going to lead you to another part of the Tyap Wiktionary, and then you are going to see the template for a noun, which we call a load. All you need to do is just to copy this whole thing to the very end, and then go and paste it in the article or entry you want to create, and then you begin to include what you need to include inside. It's easier for you. And then if you are working on a verb, a shaitan, that's our own word for verb for now. You copy again, and then you go and paste it right there. But because some verbs, they have nouns I mean, they are both nouns and they are verbs. So sometimes we have to drill the two parts together, but you don't have to think about that one for now because we are not doing it today. And then if it is a pronoun, okonoliod, that's the word you copy and then you go paste and then you change what is inside. And then if it is an adjective, we use a sheli. So a sheli, you copy everything under a sheli and put and paste it in the entry. It's just the same thing with Wikipedia. And then if it is adverb, we use jegashentam. We copy and then we go and paste and change what is inside. And then if it is preposition, a shetian. A shetian, you copy what is under a shetian and then you go paste. And then if it is a conjunction of verb, you copy of verb, and then if it is an interjection, you copy a diap. And then you copy, there are 8 parts of speech that we have. I don't know why they didn't capture definite articles or articles as parts of speech. But those ones are the like 9, 10, but we are not dealing with those ones. And then the terminals also, we are not dealing with those ones. So we have seen the place we can go to copy the templates. So I'm just going to copy the template for a noun from the top.
When you get to that template, you see it, then click on the step down.
So if you want to work, if you want your phone to appear like a computer, you can go to the down of the screen, you see desktop, click on the desktop, or you will see a G, click on it, and then it will show you to the boy like this. So you can be able to do everything I'm doing on the computer with your phone, just like it looks small. But if you want to see the way I'm seeing it, or if I want to see the way you are seeing it, I'll just change it from here to this to mobile view. That's the boy, and then it will show me the way you are seeing it right there. Okay? So one side that will give you the desktop view. That's not correct. So again, I want to copy the template from the templates section of the Tyap Wikimedians or Swanglia Group. So I'll go to the ocean scene load, and then I'll copy everything down to sa load. I copied, then I'll go back to my page. I want to create an article about the noun aquan, which is yellow yam, or in biology they call it Diascorea caenesis. So I'll click on aquan. Once it opens, I'll paste my template right there. I will not publish it yet. I have to change some things before publishing it. So I'm not seeing my preview like it is showing me on Wikipedia. The reason is because they have not launched the, we have source editing, although we have the other one. We have visual editing. So visual editing has not been published, has not been launched yet on the dictionary. So we can't be able to see it as Wikipedia, but we have to just imagine. But if you want to visualize what you are working on, you have to preview it. So just click on share as if you want to publish it. Then you go to Tyap Wikimedians to preview, and then you see how it's going to look by the time you publish it. So that's how it will look. So it's just the pattern. But from past experience, we have seen that a lot of people, even with the template, once they copy it and paste it, they'll go and begin to do their own thing entirely. So please follow the template gradually, and then you don't make mistakes. Yes, Wiktionary and Wikipedia can be edited, but if by the time you edit and then you make a lot of errors and then you leave it behind, somebody else will have to do your job for you. And you know, doing the job is harder than doing it afresh. So just take note of that. So the first thing we have to do right here is to put an image. So what we want to create is yellow yam, aqua, and we have where we usually get images, and that website is called Wikimedia Commons. For you to be able to access Wikimedia Commons, just open a new page on your browser. Or if you are using a phone, minimize, you see a box with 1 to 3 numbers at the top, a box at the top of the browser. Click on it, you see it appears in many boxes. So you can just create a new page and then search for Wikimedia Commons. And then once Wikimedia Commons opens, you click on Wikimedia Commons. Once you are in the environment, any image that we have on Commons, you can use them for free without any copyright issue. But by the time you go to Facebook or social media or just Google and then you get any image, you are going to put not yourself into trouble, you are going to put Wikimedia Foundation itself into problems. So that's the reason why whenever they see such images, they'll just quickly delete them, because they don't want any issue with any other person that will say, okay, my image has been put on Google, and then one of your people or your people yourself, you came and used our image without copyright permission. You will take Wikimedia to court, and that's a lot of money that will be paid on your behalf because of your errors. So that doesn't happen, because there are admins that check all those things and see if they have been published. Yeah, there are rules having to do with cropping. There are some images that may not be cropped because of the licenses under which they were published. And then we also have fair use images. Probably they have been there for more than 70 years. So you can be able to crop them, you can be able to modify them, because 70 years ago, I'm not sure the copyright laws were present then. And they also have images that are like, you don't know who owns them. So there's no copyright law, so you can be able to modify them and then make them, but you have to give credit, you have to show that it's not yours originally. But that is only done when you are uploading them on Commons for everybody to use. So we'll just check for yellow yam, and I'm sure plenty other people have already uploaded yellow yams before. So can we see the image right here on the board? So this is this the yam? And so this is what's the name again? What's the name again? Aquan. So this is Aquan. So should we put this one that is looking yellow? Okay, the one that is raw. Okay, this one. Okay, so if we are using this very image, we copy this name like this.
So it's better we use the yellow yam.
This one here.
I think it is subject to try for you what I am, so that you can differentiate what I am.
Okay, so we search for water yam. So this is water yam.
It's not looking the same.
So work up.
Okay, this is the leaves of what I am.
So this is water yam. Okay, so let's just use this one that people that can see it looking yellowish. Okay, so let's just use this one that looks ECP yellowish, even though this one is also water yam, that's why it is appearing here. So we'll go back to where we were before now, that's the dictionary page. Now you can see this one has been prepared for you. Put the right file, replace everything that is here. You can see this whole thing, replace everything here. Leave the file after the the column, and then paste it. So once you paste it, you see how it looks. file is there, then colon is there. It always ends with this extension JPG or SVG or PNG or JPEG or any other format that is acceptable on Wikimedia Commons. Those are for images. And if you want to preview how it looks, all you need to do is to click on this share work and then click on TI Monoson, and then you are going to see the image, how it looks. Yeah. Okay, so go back again and continue with the editing. So the etymology, how did Aquan come about? How did the word come about? If you don't have any idea about how it came about, just delete that portion. Let me do it again. This boil is translated as etymology. Etymology means how did the word come about? Is it like the word buckety? Buckety, it comes from the English word bucket. And even the English word comes from another root until you get to the root where it started. But if you don't know all those things, just delete that portion and leave it. And then you can also see this IPA. Okay, so if you don't know the IPA, just leave it as it is. But the IPA of Aquan, well, you can break this into pieces and just go to Google. What is the IPA for AW? And then it will give you. That's the labialized version of K. So just copy this K raised to power W, and then we'll go back to our dictionary R. So R1, this is the IPA for this one. But if you don't know, you just leave that ZAFPS as it is. And then for the audio, if the audio is not yet on Commons, you have to upload that audio yourself and then use the link of the audio. And when you are naming it, this is the naming format you use. KCG hyphen, then the name of the word. You replace that familiar with the name of the word or the word itself, and then dot OGG. You don't have to put this extension. This thing will add the extension itself. The site will add the extension itself. So KCG dash Aquan, KCG dash Eliot, KCG dash Eli, KCG dash, and it's always in small letters. You can see it. Okay, so let's check this audio on Commons. So Commons has audios, images, videos, and then other multimedia formats like the ones that show text and audio. That's the audio textual or something, but anything multimedia. So let's check audio and see if you can see Aquan. So it says, do you mean KCG? So this is a can. So maybe it's not .ogg that you had. Okay, so let's check yellow yam in Tyap. So it's not there. So well, let's just assume that this is the audio for it. And then for this hyphenation means break the word into syllables. One, this is 2 syllables. For example, if you say Wikimedians, Wikimedians, 4 syllables. Tyap is just one syllable. Welcome is two syllables. No matter how long the word is, just break it into syllables. So A1 is two syllables, A and then one, and they will delete this side. Then the word for the syllable is a tiong, and then we have plural akationg. So we have two akatong, afiang niya shedi. So we have A1, and then this word is an alio, it's a noun. So we replace this swagaliad again with A1, and then the article for A1 will be wu, Aquanu. So we replace article again with wu, and then the plural form, the form of it will be ayakwan. It's just Aquan. Okay. So except if we are now talking about the tubers now, so swang Aquan can swang jun, swang Aquan jun, swang Aquan sphere, swang Aquan tat. But the word itself is just without plural. So in this case now, we can just say a sang. It is without, or you just delete the whole thing like this. And then for the swangaliad, you still repeat Aquan again. You can see again, this swangaliad in some places is written with small letter S, and in some places written with capital letter S. So if you start with capital letter S, you start the Aquan with capital letter S. And if it is starting with small letter S, you start with small letter S. And this way is telling you to define it. So Aquan, for names of plants, for species generally, names of plants, names of animals, we add the Latin names, the botanical names to them. So in bracket, we link them to Wikimedia species. Wikimedia has a project only for species, animals and plants alone. So right here, after you put this square bracket, open and close, you put species, and then you put the Latin name, which is Dioscorea cayennensis. Then we put a pipe, and then repeat Dioscorea cayennensis. But I want the cayennensis Dioscorea to be slanty and bold. So I'll put 3 to make it bold, and then 3 to make it bold. And then I want it slanty, I'll put 2 more, and then I'll put 2 more. So just to see what I just did, I'll just go to shape, and then go to Tian Monosol. So you see it's looking, by the time I click on this, it's going to click and redirect me to Wikimedia species. So I'll define it in Tyap. Everything is in Tyap, no English inside. So Aquan, we can just say Aquan Wu, then in bracket, Dioscorea cayennensis, yet tanke chihuahua, kali tanke kuli kubja kani kubja kai tanke. So Aquan yet tanke chihuahua kubja support kawa. So it depends on your. And not just word. It's a type of yam, not type of yams. It's just one species.
Just one fish. We are treating now.
So
other than now, there's a place to add that the sheep. There's a place to reach it.
So Aquan, but it's not complete yet. I can still choose to make it. Okay, the plural form is already up. I wanted to put the plural form right in the bracket. But Aquan yet tanke a chihuahua kubia except for the kawa umami. Is it Tyapik enough? It's yellow inside. Well, no, tanya tanke chi hua, tanke hubia, tanke hubia, not tanke kapia. If you now say like this, if you now remove this tanke now and say yet echi kia kabia, echi kia kabia, but tanke has changed everything. So tanke echi hua kubia. Or we had a support that wow. Oh, I don't know. So in this very case, I'm just doing it the way I will be able to understand this. So that's the reason why we need reviewing of all our articles. So if one goes and it doesn't sound Tyapik, so for Atolishan, so this is your own work now. So if you use the English Wikipedia, where we have Indian English, they will write it their own way, or Nigerian English, write it Nigerian way, then somebody from England will come and rearrange, another person will come and rearrange until it looks very English. So, well, we can just say, Tanke Echihua, Ngomawa. Or let me just leave it like this as it is.
So what about if I don't know the botanical name?
Once you know the English name, you know the botanical name. Just go to Google. What is yellow yam? Or go to Wikipedia. Search for what is the botanical name for yellow yam, and then it's going to give you botanical name.